I lost my job. My wife lost everything. There's this moment after betrayal hits where everything goes quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the suffocating kind, like your ears are ringing and you can't tell if you're about to scream or sob. That's how it felt the night I realized my wife was cheating on me. Let me take you back. I, 35M, had been married to Megan, 34F, for just over 6 years. We weren't perfect, but I genuinely thought we were solid. We met in college, both working part-time jobs and dreaming big. She was ambitious, a marketing major with a spark that drew everyone in. I was quieter, nerdier, studying computer science and spending my free time fixing broken electronics for beer money. We balanced each other. After graduation, we got married. I landed a solid IT job at a growing startup. She eventually worked her way up to a senior position at a mid-sized marketing firm. Life was good. Not lavish, but we took weekend trips, saved up for a house, even started talking about kids someday. Then came the layoff. The company I worked for got acquired, and half of us were let go overnight. I walked out of the office with a cardboard box, a folder with my severance package, and a pit in my stomach. I came home and told Megan. She hugged me, told me it would be okay, and said, "I'll carry us for a while. You've done it for long enough." For the first few weeks, she was supportive. She brought me coffee during job searches, gave me pep talks, even joked about enjoying being the breadwinner for a while. I honestly thought we'd get through it as a team. But then the warmth faded. She started staying late at work. A lot. She'd get home, barely make eye contact, scroll endlessly on her phone, and snap at me over the smallest things. I chalked it up to stress. She was working more to keep us afloat, after all. Maybe I was being a bit of a sad sack. I promised myself I'd pick up the slack, so I cleaned the house, cooked dinner, did laundry, ran errands. I wanted her to see I wasn't just moping around. It didn't help. If anything, it made her colder. Then one night, she left her phone face up on the couch while she went to shower. A message popped up from a contact named Rachel that said, "Last night was dangerous, still thinking about that elevator." I froze. I stared at the screen, willing myself to believe I'd misunderstood, but my gut told me otherwise. My hands were shaking as I opened the message thread. It wasn't Rachel. It was Derek, her boss. Married, older, the guy I'd met at her office party. The guy who had complimented me on snagging such a powerhouse wife. The messages weren't just flirty. They were explicit, graphic, and worse than all of that, emotionally intimate. They weren't just hooking up. They were in love, or at least she thought she was. There were messages where she called me a deadbeat, said I was comfortable being a nobody, and even told him, "He's so passive, I doubt he'd fight me on a divorce. I could be out by summer." I didn't confront her that night. I quietly took photos of the messages with my own phone, emailed them to myself, and then deleted the open thread so she wouldn't know. I barely slept. The next morning, I made coffee, kissed her cheek, and told her I was heading to the library to job hunt. I didn't go to the library. I went to a lawyer. Turns out in our state, adultery is still legally relevant. And more importantly, so is financial contribution. I had been the primary breadwinner for over 5 years. The house, bought in my name before the marriage, refinanced during it with only my credit. The car she drove, technically mine. And since I had been the one supporting her while she was in grad school, there was a nice little paper trail of my financial sacrifice. My lawyer said, "If this is what you want to do, we can absolutely bury her." So I waited. I kept up the charade for a month. I acted like everything was fine. Meanwhile, I gathered more evidence. She got sloppier, bringing work clothes home in her gym bag, taking mysterious weekend team retreats, and once she even sent Derek a selfie from our bedroom while I was in the backyard mowing the lawn. I recorded everything, tracked her location, screenshotted messages, even installed a discreet camera in our shared home office, got video of her bringing him inside when she thought I was out. When I had everything I needed, I dropped the bomb. One Friday evening, she came home to find dinner on the table, candles lit, and me sitting with a thick folder of printed documents. Her face went pale when she saw the screenshots, even paler when she saw the legal notice. "I know everything," I said, calm as stone, "and I've already filed." She tried to play the victim. First tears, then denial, then rage. She accused me of spying, of violating her privacy. I didn't argue. I just slid a copy of the state law about adultery and divorce across the table and said, "Here's how this plays out. You agree to my terms, or we go to court and you get nothing. Worse than nothing." She moved out 2 days later, straight into Derek's apartment, the one he used during his business trips. But karma wasn't done with her yet. Derek's wife, yes, he had one, got an anonymous package with every single piece of evidence I had. Turns out she had no idea her husband was cheating. She filed for divorce immediately and forwarded everything to Derek's employer, who also happened to be his boss's boss. Long story short, Derek got demoted, then fired. Megan got fired too. Turns out sleeping with your superior is a big no-no in their company, especially when both parties are married. At the divorce hearing, her lawyer tried to paint me as a depressed, emotionally unavailable husband. My lawyer countered with photos of trips I had planned, messages of me supporting her career, and a spreadsheet showing I'd paid 80% of our living expenses since marriage. The judge ruled in my favor. I kept the house, I kept my car, and thanks to the way our state calculates financial imbalance after infidelity, Megan was ordered to pay me $1,400 a month in alimony for the next 3 years. She tried to appeal. She lost. The cherry on top? Our mutual friends, the ones she vented to about me being a burden, dropped her like a bad habit when they found out the full story. Her own mother, who once called me the best thing to ever happen to Megan, told me, "You deserved better. I'm so sorry." Now, 2 years later, I've got a steady remote job, a peaceful home, and a rescue dog who's a better companion than Megan ever was. As for her, last I heard she was working retail, couch hopping, and bitter. Derek left her not long after the fallout. Guess he wasn't ready to start over after all. She messaged me once asking if we could talk. Said she missed who we used to be. I didn't reply. I just smiled, turned up the music, and took my dog for a walk. Every month I get a direct deposit with her name on it. My friends call it cheater tax. I call it peace of mind. Some people say revenge doesn't solve anything, but me, I sleep like a baby. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Thanks for watching.